All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday as we continue on day number 2 of this week. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. All right, guys, let's see what we got. It looks like the SPY is very active this morning. As you can see here, we have a lot going on. We're actually green pre-market a little before 6:30 this morning, and we have gone below the previous day close here with a lot of activity. So let's see what's happening here. Kind of getting a little bit of a bounce. Norm, what is the latest and greatest on the SPY today?
Yeah, man. As you said, we were green for much of the night in the futures, and then it's just kind of been on a slow downtrend. We were down a little bit over 1%. Now we're bouncing back from that. I have not seen the news. I was setting up for the show, so I don't know if something came out a little bit ago or not, but I will keep an eye out. If somebody's heard or seen something, let us know. This could just be, just a little chop.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, economic and I apologize today, guys. I'm running on really low sleep from last night. I think a lot of us are getting a little crazy from being trapped in our houses and can't really do anything or go anywhere. For one side effect for me, it's kind of thrown off my schedule, uh, and I'm can't sleep. So anyway, today we've got 9 a.m. We've got the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, Chicago PMI at 9:45, and then at 10 a.m. Consumer Confidence, which should be an interesting number to see how that comes out. So keep an eye on those when trading. Couple of earnings, specifically RH. We'll talk about. It's not on our list, but we'll discuss it here in a little bit, and we'll have to talk about AMRN too, even though it won't show up on our scanners at this price.
Oh yeah, that one took a nice big drop. I saw some of you guys on YouTube and also in our chat commenting on it. That one took a really big hit, so we'll get into that as well. All right, guys, so let's get to it. For those in our chat room, if you want to see the full list of scanners, you can go over to Peter's screen. So Peter is sharing his screen on the other side. You can switch back and forth to see what the full list is of this gappers list here. Here I'm going to go through some of these. It's not that many today compared to what we've seen on a regular basis. This is actually a pretty short list. We're used to
Thank God,
seeing,
right?
yeah, this is pretty short compared to what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, month or two. It's been just massive. So we can definitely get through this list with no problem. We will have time to do that. I'm going to remove here our watch list from yesterday. We had a pretty good watch list, a lot of great trades. CCL continues to be very nice to trade. That was my trade on yesterday. But we're not going to go through that just so we can get through this list with enough time to go through every single thing and also do some levels support and resistance on this stuff we have on here. So let's start with what's green this morning. But before we get to that, let's look at AMRN. This one last night, I mean, it just took a huge hit, dropping. Today's down almost 70%. 9.7 million shares traded. Norm, you texted this out to us saying, "Hey, look what just happened, guys!" And I pulled it up last night, and I was like, "Oh my god, can you imagine holding any of this? Even at this point, thinking you have a good entry, at $10, you found the bottom, you got a nice little cushion with a nice little profit, and you wake up this morning, the stock is $4. What's going on there?"
Yeah, it was actually a credit to Eamon on sending that 5 minute chart from last night. I knew what was going on with it a little bit. AMRN's not my favorite stock to trade. We did trade it a little bit, I believe, in December when the FDA at one of their drugs, Vasepa, used for high triglycerides and stuff. The FDA gave them expanded use of that, and it got a pop, and it was tradable at the time. Had a very high short interest in the stock. Traded well for a few days, and it's been going through the courts. So this is a fish oil, a derivative of fish oil along those lines. So it's actually been in court, and so they sued another company for copying their product. And the other company was saying this is a common remedy. Fish oil has been known for decades. Well, yesterday, a judge ruled against Amarin that
Mm,
indeed fish oil is a common drug that's been in use and it's not patentable. So
mm.
this massive boon of a drug they had that was like their number one thing is now anybody
Open
can
to
make
anyone.
it.
Oh man, that is
Yeah, I'm sure it'll
that's
be
tough.
appealed and everything else, but nevertheless, not good.
Yeah, not good at all. What's the ATR and AMRN, by the way? So 327 million shares flow. I do ATR is $1.74. So pretty high for a stock that's trading around 13, $14. So you still got to be very cautious with that. I don't have a short flow interest. It's blank on trade ideas. So again, I think that doesn't mean too much right now since we're gapping down huge. So we'll have to see how this plays out. All right, let's get to our list here. Trade ideas gappers list, starting with number one. IG this morning, it's up huge. Must be a pharmaceutical company here, probably dealing with the coronavirus. A lot of these stuff I'm just assuming, not even sure, but a lot of this stuff that you're seeing these
No.
huge gaps, different. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, what
Yeah.
enlighten me?
Well, it is a drug company, but it's not. It has nothing to do with COVID.
Wow.
They
Okay.
had tests and reported good results on a dry eye drug. Excuse me.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. Well, something new, guys. That's enlightening here. Nice big pop here, 48%. A beautiful thing here. We got a nice little drop here. Now, again, I'm not a fan of these stocks. This is a low flow stock trading at 2.5 million shares float. So again, we can throw this down here in our low flow pile for our low flow stocks. I'm not a fan of these. Again, it's just got to be very careful, guys. High of the pre-market already at nine. Looks like at $9. We're down at $6, and your low is all the way down at around looks like $4 or so. So beautiful breakout here on the daily. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll come back to and do some levels, but again, not a fan of the way this is looking right now, and also just how low flow this is. 2.5, guys. This is you got to be very careful trading that type of stock. Let's look at OMI, another one that has been on our list quite a bit. We did have this one yesterday. We did have some levels for it. I'm gonna remove all of these now. It looks like we had a nice little pop here yesterday. Today we're gapping up some more. 8.2. Not the best pre-market activity. The pre-market yesterday was also not that great yesterday neither. So here's a pre-market yesterday. Again, didn't look all that exciting, but it did have a great opening. You can see here, dropped down, came back up, and traded very well. Nice pop here at the open. Then sold off after that. Did well into the close yesterday. But again, similar start to yesterday. 210,000 shares traded right now. It is up 8.2. This could be a goal for a continuation today. Again, I'm not a fan of the pre-market at the moment, but it does have a very clean daily chart. As you can see, a beautiful pop above this area of resistance. It did held that. It did close green yesterday, and today we're getting another pop this morning. So let's see how that's going to play out as we get closer to the open. Next here we have HAL. HAL this morning. This one also just a very choppy pre-market activity right now. Some good volume, 388, but that volume is not trading all that clean. You do have some big candles here with some good volume, but again, just the pre-market is really all over the place. Also, the daily has not been all that clean. You do have the nice drop here. We've been somewhat in a consolidation mode over the last couple of days between this $8 and looks like $6 or so. Again, just not the best daily chart on here, and also the pre-market's not looking all that great. This was on our list before. I believe we had it on our main list at one point. We can definitely take a look at it. Let's see if it gets better, especially the pre-market right now. But again, not looking at anything great just yet.
And we've mentioned this in the past, Carlos.
Yeah.
Without its own individual catalyst, which I don't think Hal has this morning, um, it's terrible to trade.
Mm-hmm.
These stocks, Hal and Oxy, are both pop and BP, which we won't look at because it's
Yeah.
foreign. But
Yeah.
the price of a barrel of oil is up around 5% overnight. So these are really just popping on the price of the
Mm-hmm.
underlying commodity.
Yes, again, so yeah, even with that news, you're absolutely right. It's probably not going to be tradable, or at least anything we would like to watch. Let's look at Oxy. So Oxy here, same similar information Norm just gave you there. Again, got some more volume than how. And actually, when these are in play with some actual news, Oxy's probably the best one that trades a little bit better, with a little more volume than the rest that we have seen that fall into that same category. So, but right now, guys, not seeing anything great. Even again, there's no catalyst behind it, and there's also not a great pre-market activity on both of these. So I'm gonna remove those now. I think we're gonna find something better as we get through this list. BP is a foreign stock, as Norm mentioned, so we're not gonna look at that one. We usually do not like to trade these foreign stocks. ABT. ABT again has been getting a lot of press. President was talking about this. I believe it was this company yesterday as well. But again, it's getting a lot of press over their 5 minute, I believe, home test. They were showing off the box yesterday
Yeah,
on the news and things like that. So give us an insight what's going on here.
yeah, like you said, I don't believe it's a home test, but it is a 5 minute test, which will just be huge in trying to claw our society back to normal with this virus taking hold on it. So, President spoke about it yesterday. It popped yesterday. It's popping up again today. So,
Excellent. What I like about this one right now, guys, it just sold off yesterday. It's a nice gap up and then sold off right to this level we had here. But right now we're sitting right at this resistance area. So if we can get some kind of continuation here, break out of this level again, we do have a shot to hit that 85, what looks to be the high of yesterday, 84.48. So that could be a nice area to get into. You don't have a lot of resistance going up here. You do have some moving averages slightly above around 83 or so. But again, this could be a good one. The daily setting up well. We do have some great volume. Pre-market starting to get better. You can see here, so you're getting a little bit more volume. You're getting a better pre-market activity. Still very choppy, but it does seem like it has some potential to get going here. So I do like ABT this morning. Also, they have news behind it, which can really get it going here. GFI, I don't think we've seen this one before, but this looks horrible. Oh, it's a gold.
it's a South
Yeah,
African gold miner.
yeah. So this
You
is
can
not
just
good.
throw that in the trash immediately.
Yep, get rid of that. It looks horrible. Here's American Airlines, guys. American Airlines taking a bit of a hit. Actually, no, they're up this morning. Sorry, they're up this morning. Oh, excuse me. I thought this was the previous day close, but they're up actually 2.4. They were up as high as 13, down to 4 to 12 now. So they again been selling off a little bit, probably with the market. But even with this drop here in the pre-market, they are still green. So that's nice to see here on American Airlines. Good volume, 600,000 shares traded, up 2% above the previous day close. They have a pretty nice daily also. They've been trying to hold this level here at 12. Seems to be an area where they have a lot of support. We're slightly above that. So let's see what American Airlines can do today. So again, I like what's going on here. We got some good volume, good activity at the moment. And I like that they're still green even with this drop in the pre-market. So let's take a look at American Airlines a bit later as well. We do have Teva coming up here. Let's take a look at that. This one, 322,000 shares. It is up 2.9 this morning, as high as $9 at one point here. Had a big day yesterday. Nice big green day here. Nice bounce back of these levels 750 or so. It didn't give much back towards the close neither, and today they're up slightly 3%. Now, Teva on the regular basis has not been a great stock to trade. It hasn't been all that clean. Yesterday, for the most part, the big move was here at the open. I did not watch this one, but looking at it now, it had a nice pop here at 10 o'clock. And kind of held that all day. Another pop towards the end here, towards the close. So again, this looks very good. I like the way you traded yesterday. It has some good activity today. Let's keep an eye on it. But again, this is not one of my favorite stocks to trade. It can be very, very choppy at sometimes. But we'll see what it gives us later on in the pre-market. J&J, as we know, had news yesterday. We were talking about this their possible vaccine that they're working on. Let's remove some of these levels. So big day for them yesterday, over the last couple of days, really. And yesterday also closed pretty big, hit green. Also, they're up a little bit, 2% this morning. 205,000 shares traded at the moment. J&J, and this is not bad pre-market activity for J&J. J&J could be very choppy in the pre-market. They don't trade all that well. But again, they have some big news behind it with this possible vaccine. So could be one to watch for a possible continuation today if we can get going here. So J&J definitely on our list this morning. That could be fun to watch. Let's look at XOM is next. This is ExxonMobil. Again,
Yep.
similar to what we discussed earlier, right? How and with Oxy as well. So not much going on here, guys. I'm going to remove this one from our list as well. Let's head on down, scroll down a little bit here. We have, I think that covers everything that is gapping up. MBL is here. Let's take a look at MBL, see what's going on with this one.
So this is an oil company. It's a smaller one,
Yeah,
but here's the interesting thing here. They also got an upgrade this morning out of Stiefel from $9 to $18 and a hold to a buy rating. So gutsy to be upgrading oil stocks right now when the oil's plummeting. But
yeah.
so not that I won't trade. It's horrible pre-market. I still feel the same way about this about that I do other oil companies. But this at least has something other than just news of the underlying commodity.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That is pretty interesting. So no, let's keep an eye on it for now. See if it gets any better. I wish it had more volume, but this could be a good pos. Which is kind of, is weird they're doing that on this one smaller company. So I agree with you there. Let's see what we can get out of that. Let's head down over to what's gapping down this morning. Let's start with the bottom. CCL down 18% this morning. Let's take a look at CCL. Wow, this is taking a very nice hit
Yeah.
here. It was green at some point here, 14. Again, a lot of stuff seemed to have been doing well early on in the pre-market. This one then just kind of started taking a nice hit around 6:30 and has sold off ever
Yeah.
since, hitting almost the low of 1027. Any more? Is this just market-driven stuff,
Yeah,
Norm?
no, they've got fresh news. We talked about this a couple of days ago about potential issues with the US bailing them out that had not been discussed earlier
Yeah, yeah.
since they're not registered in the United States, but it's now been announced that they're going to take out just under $2 billion. Excuse me, that they're gonna have an equity offering, share offering of just under
Mm-hmm.
$2 billion,
Mm-hmm.
and then a little over four in a private debt offering as well. So $6 billion in capital they're going to raise from equity and debt combined in
Yeah.
order to weather this storm.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, it's gonna hurt them pretty bad today. As you can see, they're down 18.8 this morning. Definitely one we will keep on our list. We do have I think it's an all-time low, or at least a 52-week low here, down over around 7. So let's see what happens around that area. But we're definitely gonna watch CCL this morning. This has been the stock that I've been watching very closely and trading quite often. It has been really, really good. So it's very clean as well. So looking forward to the CCL this morning. Let's head down over to TLRY on our list, also down today. It is down 10.7 at the moment. Interesting pre-market activity, also green early on, and then kind of crossing that previous day close line here. And now kind of down for 10%. So pre-market activity is pretty interesting here. Kind of finding a base around $5 or $6, 5.89. Pretty choppy in this area. Did have some good volume getting across the previous day close line, down 10%, 653,000 shares trade. So it does have the volume. Again, had a red day yesterday, possible continuation today. So we could definitely take a look at it. I'm not a huge fan of TLRY. Now it's trading a lot cleaner. I mean, when this stock used to trade before, it used to trade just very, very wild. But again, it could be a little more manageable at this time. So let's take a look at it. Let's see what's
So,
going on with it. And you got news on it?
well, yeah, something to
Mm-hmm.
note is that their board opened up the ability to release 11 million shares that were in lockup. So that's gonna mess with this. It gives somebody the right to sell them,
Mm-hmm.
which could depress the stock price. I've got wildly different floats, which is kind of important here. With Trade Ideas saying 79.8 million and Finviz saying 4.25.
Yeah.
So if I don't believe the 4.25. I don't know about the 80-ish, but
Mm-hmm.
11 million shares being released with a float somewhere in there. There's a significant amount.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we'll take a closer look at it. I'm not a big fan of this stock. I just don't like the way it traded. When we were looking at it before, when all the past stocks were very active, this is one I would stay away from. Chronos and what's the other one we used to watch a lot? CGC were two good ones to trade. Are
Uh-huh.
those in doing any movement? No, nothing going on with those guys. So they're pretty quiet. CRRN, same thing. So they're pretty quiet. Not much going on their end. All right, CUC is also a division of Carnival as well, CCL. They don't get as much volume. CCL is definitely the one to watch with 4.2 million shares traded already, kind of getting a little bounce here of a 10.28 at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on CCL instead of CUK. Another one we have here is I never heard of this one, EURN. What we got going on here?
It's foreign
Yeah, yep. Looks foreign.
foreign
Daily
garbage.
charts all over the place, so we'll skip on that one. TLRY, we looked at Fro, FOR.
Froze foreign garbage.
Yes, doesn't look great. Neither garbage there. RCL is Royal Caribbean, I believe. RCL. Let's take a look at that.
Uh-huh.
Kind of dropping down here a little bit as well. They're in the same similar situation as CCL. Obviously, CCL has some news specifically with them on what they're doing to be able to weather the storm. But again, it's the same thing with these guys. They're not getting bailed out. So RCL also here down 6.4, 425,000 shares traded. But I think the one to watch today is CCL. I think this is the one with the great volume right now. Good pre-market activity. Look at the way this is
Yeah.
moving here. This is the one that I'm going to
I think
have on
these
my
are
list.
these are sympathy moves from what I can tell on the other
Yeah.
on the other cruise lines.
Mm-hmm.
They're just they're they're seeing what CCL's doing and worried that they're going to be diluted with massive amount of shares and then kind of hosed over by taking on a ton of debt just to get through this.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at NRZ. All right, so NRZ here. Do not like the pre-market right now. Also, I'm not sure what kind of stock this is. Let's take a look here. Looks like residential. Yes, there's a
It's a
looks like
mortgage investment deal. It's very bad trading in
okay.
reality.
All right, so we'll definitely skip on that one. Doesn't look good. Even if we didn't know that, guys, looking at the chart, it doesn't look great. You don't have a great pre-market activity. You don't have a great daily chart either. It almost looks foreign. So again, just stay away from something that looks anything like that. Speaking of CRON, it's popping up in our gappers list. So let's take a look at it. It is down 5.7. Again, pre-market is not all that exciting right now. As we mentioned, I think this is moving with news at TLRY. So this might be the one to watch today. We'll keep an eye on this one opposed to the other two that we like to trade. NCLH, another cruise line as well. This one down not as much. RCL and also NCLH not down as much as CCL. CCL will be the one I'm watching today. Again, this also looks okay, but again, CCL just has a really good tight pre-market activity right now. Zoom ZM, let's see what that is up to. I haven't seen that one in a couple of days. Let's remove some of these levels. So we're giving some back here. We did not touch the high of the day yesterday. We gapped up a bit. We kind of sold off towards the close. As you can see here, we're still holding this 145 level. So we're slightly down 2.4 this morning. And pre-market actually looks pretty good. This is a good pre-market activity for a Zoom. So I definitely want to keep an eye on Zoom. It has been good to trade. Again, just got to really be careful of your size and also look at that spread before you get into a trade on CCL. I'm sorry, on ZM. With any stock, you always got to look at the spread, but this one is specifically this one because the spread could be very nasty at times. All right, that covers. I think this is the first time in a long time that we actually got through our entire list. At
Yeah,
least so we have so far. So let's get over to
it's a
our.
nice change.
It is a nice change. Let's get over to our second, our both our chat tiers, our second viewers. Norm, do
Go
you
ahead and take
have
a peek at
anything?
RH.
RH? Yep.
Yeah, RH. They had earnings last night. They had mixed results, and they're getting beat this morning. Now, one thing on this, and really, I probably won't trade this.
Mm-hmm.
One reason that I'm mentioning this specifically is because despite the share price is a low float, I think it's off the top of my head 16 million, 18 million shares.
Yep.
So with that combined with the high price of the stock, it can have wild movements.
It sure can. The short interest on this 73%, based on trade ideas. Again, not sure how accurate that is, but that's extremely high if that is correct there.
It's
So,
high. I mean,
yeah,
even Trade Ideas has it at 31%, or not Trade Ideas. Finviz
yeah,
has it
just
at
still high.
31%.
Yep,
So
yep. So again, very hard short float there, short interest. I mean, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one, guys. Let's see what happens in the next couple of minutes. It does have a good pre-market activity because the way the stock trade doesn't trade a lot of volume in the pre-market, but right now we're seeing some movement here out of RH. All right, let's go over to our chat room, guys. What do you guys like this morning? What do you have that is not already on this list? Whatever's on here, we're going to go over in more details, find support and resistance. What do you guys have this morning that has some volume, is moving? Or if you're aware of a catalyst, throw the ticker and the catalyst on there. We'll definitely take a look at it. CAG earnings. So T-Bone is giving us CAG. Let's take a look at that. So CAG has earnings. Nice pop right now, up 4.9. 30, not a great volume, only 36,000 shares traded. What is the float on this one? CAG. 485.
huge.
So yeah, so huge float here. So yeah, this could be one that we can watch, guys. Has earnings. We can see how that's going to play out. Again, the volume is pretty light right now, so it needs to get better. Let's keep it on here, see if it can get better for the open. If it does not get better for the open, what we can do is, especially on RH as well, we can keep them as a possible and then see how they play out throughout the day. After we look at the stuff that's ramping up with some really good volume, that's probably going to be very active at the open. We can then look at our secondary list and take advantage of anything that's been moving with a catalyst and can build a good trend trade, right? So we can do that as well. Rowan is giving us AMD. Let's take a look at AMD this morning. What are we doing here? Pretty much flat right now. Great volume. The daily looks like it wants to break out of this, but again, that's going to depend a lot on the market because this stock is really moving with what the SPY is doing. But it does have a beautiful opportunity here on the daily to break out of this 47 level that we have. The high right now, 48.86 is the pre-market high. Again, we're kind of giving some back this morning. A lot of the stocks gapped up, and it looks like they might have changed their mind into 6 o'clock, 6:30 or so this morning, all dropping down to either their previous day close or below it. So AMD could be interesting, guys. I do like this setup on the daily. I would definitely take a look at that one. It's got some volume on there. We'll see how that one plays out in a couple of minutes. We'll come back to it. BA is a possible going to fix their fuel delivery system for free. Let's take a look at BA. Now, here's the
Gonna
stock.
what?
They're going to fix their fuel delivery system. I think that's what someone mentioned here.
Oh,
I'm so not sure what that means. You have
okay.
a link on there, but again, their fuel system for free. I mean, they should fix their fuel system, period. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But again, same thing, guys. Gapping up, selling down here as well, down to the previous day close. Not red yet, still up 1%. Some good volume, 520,000 shares traded. Again, just not sure on this one, but I do like this is a great pre-market activity for BA, guys. Again, I'm not sure about that news, if that's good or positive or not, but again, this one has a great pre-market activity. Definitely worth watching BA today. I think that looks pretty good. All right, what else we have? It's BA. All right, what else? We looked at BA. BA also got a government contract. Okay, that's good. Let's look at Microsoft, and then we'll take a look at our YouTube chat, see what's going on there. So Microsoft, again, similar pattern today, guys. Everything
Not
kind
doing
of,
anything though.
yeah, getting above the previous day
You pointed
close and
this
then
out,
back
said it was
down.
up 8.5%. It's down 1%. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just weird choppiness here, but especially this one look extra choppy, guys. So again, not seeing anything too special. They do got great volume, 1.1 million shares traded. Great day yesterday, nice green day here. They closed very strong towards the end. Again, just not sure if that's going to hold. I think a lot of these stocks are just going to wait to see what the SPY is going to do this morning, especially Microsoft, AMD. Not much Zoom. Zoom's got its own kind of thing going on, but a lot of these are probably going to see wait to see what happens there. All right, let's look at our YouTube chat. So we have ABT, we have it here, guys. So that's good. DPZ, it's Domino's, I believe. Domino's
Yeah,
Pizza.
it's Domino's.
All right, so
They updated their guidance and talked about good sales, but they're getting hammered this morning.
yeah.
I love trading stuff that's high priced, but
Mm-hmm.
Domino's is too spready for me. I won't touch
Yeah,
it. I mean, if you look right now, you've got nearly a $2 spread on it.
yeah.
There's no volume this morning.
And for the most part, they don't trade high volume neither, right? 2.5 seems to be
Yeah,
on
it's
a
not.
couple of days, so it's not really all that active. So it's a tough trade,
Yeah,
guys,
their
on
average
DPZ.
volume is less than a million shares a day. So
Right, right. So again, it's a tough trade here, guys. Very choppy daily as well. Obviously, they have a nice gap up here. I'm sure they're getting a lot more sales. People ordering left and right, not leaving their houses probably. But again, yeah, I'm not seeing anything great. Also, pre-market, guys, is really, really light right now. So I'm just gonna stay away from that one. Especially that spread is kind of scary there, sitting up almost at $2. Let's see what else we have here. ACAD upgraded by Goldman Sachs. Let's see what we got going on here. So ACAD. All right, we got something going here. Not a lot of volume right now, up 6.4, only 13,000 shares traded so far. Had a great couple of last days on here, popping up pretty nice. Let's see what is the float on this. It is a pharmaceutical company, so it's 104. So it's not bad. It's not a low flow stock, so this is definitely something good. Right now, what I don't like, guys, is the volume, though. We need more volume here, so I'm not going to add this one to our list. But we do need to get more volume. If that does happen, shoot it back to us and we'll put it on our list. J&J, we have NCLH we looked at, guys, but I prefer to watch CCL this morning. I think this is the one that's got it going today. So let's look at that one. OMI, we have TRGP. We'll do this one as the last one, and then we'll get over to announcements. TRGP, again, yeah, not a lot of volume right now, so I'm not sure what's the news behind it, but nothing great right this second. All right, guys, AYTU. Okay, last one, because I know this one gets a lot of attention. AYTU, it's one that people are looking at constantly. But right now, this is a horrible, horrible pre-market activity.
trash.
I mean, I would
Look at that
not touch
chart.
this with a 6 foot pole, like Norm would say. So we're gonna skip on that one, guys, for right now.
I
All right.
wouldn't touch it with my worst enemy's account.
Exactly. So let's go over to announcements, guys. We'll come back, do some support and resistance, and then we can see what's looking good, fine tune things a bit.
All right, guys. So Mondays and Fridays, we've got the markets close on Wall Street with Peter and Brian. Mike's going to be guest guest hosting with them on occasion. So hope you guys turn into there. If you're in the room, just stay in the room. It's you'll get the same thing, but we'll be broadcasting this, simulcasting the room on YouTube for this 3:30 to 4:15 actually, um, Mondays and Fridays. All right, guys, our success webinars this week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. special time. Stephen Goldstein. Um, He's going to be talking about managing yourself in extreme market conditions for better trading performance. He is a trading psychologist and a former professional trader for quite a long time. So he not only has a psychology insight, he's been in your shoes, he's been in our shoes. He knows a lot about trading. He's a great follow on Twitter. Alpha Mind 101 is his handle. He also has the Alpha Mind podcast. So we hope all you guys will turn in for that at the special time, 6 p.m. this coming Wednesday in the webinar room, and it'll be broadcast on YouTube as well. Next week, we'll have Peter talking about using his lightning bolt pattern around VWAP. And then psychology, as I already mentioned, Stephen Goldstein. And then next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m., we'll have Dr. Katz talking about how to improve fear of taking a trade. Our own in-house psychologist. Guys, we still have the discount that's active. We really haven't been mentioning it or talking about it much this week, and it'll change soon. But you can use the promo code St. Patrick's at checkout to get 40% off the one-time lifetime membership plans. Also, if you're trying us on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube and you'd like to try out the room, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you sign up for the intro membership on the membership page, and it'll give you access to our onboarding class and everything else. That's all I got.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm, for that. All right, folks, let's get to it. Let's fine tune this list a little bit. Let's see what we like and what we can get rid of this morning. So I'm getting a lot of questions on where I got this hat from. This is from my wife. My wife is in HR, and she goes to these seminars, and they give out hats, and most times they don't fit her, so I just take them. All right, guys, so let's look through this list first. Let's see what we like to keep here. So AMRN, I do like this one. This one has a great news behind, well, not positive, but great catalyst behind it. Obviously down quite a bit with some really good volume, very active pre-market activity, so definitely want to keep an eye on this one. OMI, this one, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it does look good. It had a green day yesterday. It does have a decent pre-market activity, not great. We do have some volume behind it, up 11.4. Definitely worth taking a look at, so we'll keep an eye on this one. Here's ABT, guys. This one also very active. It popped up yesterday pretty nice here. Actually, it actually gapped up all the way from here. This was the close on the day before, right? Almost 75. Gapped up to almost 82, went up to 85. Sold off for the day yesterday, but again, gapping up again here at 3.4. Worth giving a shot. This is the company they're talking about doing a 5-minute test for the coronavirus. So again, it's getting a lot of attention, a lot of news coverage. The president had it on his speech yesterday, his news conference yesterday. So again, it's getting a lot of publicity on this one. So we'll see what happens here. Great volume right now, up 3.4. Let's definitely take a look at that one, do some levels for that. I do like American Airlines today. We are getting a nice little pre-market activity here after 7 o'clock. Things getting better. Great volume here. We got some good movement. 734,000 shares, and we're up 4.1. Definitely want to keep an eye on that. Here's Teva. Teva usually has not been on our list quite a bit, so again, I like that one. We'll keep that one. J&J has some news behind it. That's good. MBL, I'm going to remove this one, guys. Again, just not a lot of activity right now in the pre-market, so we'll get rid of this one. We can look for that one in our scanners. CCL, I love right now. The nice little base here, kind of trying to do a B reversal back up to the VWAP, hopefully. TLRY, as much as I like what I'm seeing here, and it could be, again, it has its own catalyst and could have some movement. This is a stock I'm not really a fan of, right? So I think we have some other good ones that are moving a lot better. This could be a possible. Let's do a possible. If we have time, we'll get to as far as levels, but we'll put that down here as a possible. I do have some other ones here that I want to get to that seem to be looking a lot better. Zoom, guys, is one that's also been pretty good to us. Got a good pre-market right now, some good volume. We have a nice level we can trade off here. This 145 level is a good one. You can see a lot of stuff happening there. We're bouncing off of that right now. The low of the pre-market 145.05, so that could be interesting. Let's keep an eye on that one. RH, I'm going to take off, guys. This is a low flow stock, and again, it could move very wild on you. Doesn't have great volume right now, but so I'm going to remove that one at the moment. CAG, this one is possible earnings, right? Possible earnings. I'm sorry, they have earnings, so possible pop here on CHG. So we'll throw this down here. We'll get to it if we have time. AMD looks good. Let's see if it can break out. Love the daily on AMD right now. Has a beautiful setup here for a possible pop and a possible breakout. And BA has probably one of the best pre-market activities we've seen this morning. Just look at the way this thing is flowing here, trading very nicely. Got kind of double bottom setting up right now here around 153. So worth taking a look at to see if this is going to stick or we're going to go back down and test that. So that's what we have, guys. Let's do some levels. Let's start with AMRN this morning. High of our pre-market, again, huge drop with their results of them not being able to patent certain one of their biggest drugs they were working on. High of the pre-market sitting at 499. The low of the pre-market sitting at 389. We got some really good volume. 13 million shares traded. We are down 68%. This morning. When we look at the weekly, we have been down here before. Obviously, before they popped up into double digits, they were sitting around $3 for a very, very long time. So again, this is not their all-time low. They've been lower than this. Just gonna zoom in here. Looks like around $3. You want to have a level there around 318. Looks like the top of this range. Hold on, I want to get even a better look at this area here. Here we go. That's better. So we have we have 318. You can see here several days using that support and resistance where they were down at this price range above the pre-market. Above the pre-market low, you do have some levels in here you want to mark down. The price action is sitting right on this 431, and you also have this pop here at 460. So I want to have those on my list. Towards the bottom, guys, below the previous day pre-market low, you do have 351 as well. Great area of resistance and some support in some areas as well. So definitely got some levels for this one here this morning. Again, going to be fun to watch this one. This is down quite a bit. Let's see how it's going to react. We got some great volume right now, some really good pre-market activity on this one. OMI has got a good pre-market as well. Had a great day yesterday, nice pop, and it held. High of our pre-market sitting at 1018. Our low is sitting right at 870, but we do have between there, we do have the high from yesterday. So make sure you have that set up to appear on your charts right there, slightly below 9. Let's go back and see if we have some levels we can mark down between 1016 and 9. Let's go back over here. Yeah, it looks like we do have a nice drop here, but not really any great daily levels in between this 1016, right? You do have a pop here. You do have several days. The price action is sitting right at a level right now based off of this day here. Looks like 944 we can mark down, but then other than that, you have a huge just drop here, right? So I think that's all you're gonna get for out of OMI this morning. If you do break out of this, guys, look out for 1050, look out for 1060, look out for these whole dollar numbers that are gonna play a part if this thing really gets going. Let's look at ABT this morning. ABT, as we spoke about, again, it's got some news behind it. Price action, if you draw a line right on here, guys, I'm gonna show you, you're sitting right at a level at the moment. So right through here, the price action, it looks like it's trying to get above the pre-market high. This is a very good level here on the daily. So I'm going to put that down, 82.11, mark that down. Above that, you got the high from yesterday. And if we can break out of that, we got a beautiful possible gap. The bottom of this gap is 85.64, and the bottom of the top side is going to be 87.29. So we got a nice little gap here we can try to close today, but again, we have a lot to get through to get there. So that is towards the top side. Towards the bottom, just mark down the low of the pre-market sitting at 80.48. Below that, guys, you're really pretty much covered. Previous day close highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you covered here. American Airlines, I like this morning. And again, a nice little bounce here off 1241, your low of your pre-market. So let's see what we do here. The high of the pre-market sitting at 1320. I'm not going to mark that down because it's very close to the high of yesterday right on here. So no need to mark it down. Let's see if we can get back up there. We do have the previous day close below that. We have the low from yesterday below that as well. And the low from yesterday, because you can see, is a great area of support also and resistance. We have several days of bouncing off that, what seems to be 1879. So again, great levels on American Airlines. I do like the pre-market right now. Definitely one of my favorites going in this morning. Teva, guys, again, I like the pop here. I like that we held yesterday, created a nice level above this area of resistance we had here. So I'm going to mark this area down here at 831. So we're able to close above that, to get a previous day close into the 850 area. Above that, high of the pre-market, we do have our 898. we can mark that down. If we can break out of that, we do have possibly 941 to be an area we can get into. Now, Teva, guys, doesn't look great for me. I'm going to remove it. This could be a good possible, but I'm not a huge fan of it right now. So I'm just going to bring this down here. I think the other ones that we have look a lot better. And some of these have a good catalyst behind it, like J&J, CCL, which is creating a really good pre-market activity. So J&J this morning as well, a company that's working on they reported they're working on a possible vaccine. It won't be done by the end of the year. So again, it's pretty far out, but they're getting a lot of positive feedback in their stock market here, in their stock price, as you can see. High of the pre-market sitting at 137.70, so we'll mark that down. 134.76 is the low of the pre-market, but I think more importantly is this level you have here, which is the high from yesterday. So I'm going to keep that on there. So towards the top, guys, you do have an area here. 140 is going to be an area of interest that we can get some type of resistance. And then above that, you do have a couple of days closing around this 141.81. You can see that right on there. You also have a moving average in between here, so be on the lookout for that on the daily. So again, plenty of levels here on J&J, guys. Let's see if we can get back towards the high of the day, high of the pre-market sitting at 137.73. Here, CCL definitely number 2 or number 1 favorite this morning. It's just a great bounce of 10.27. They have news of possibly, obtaining some debt to be able to get through these tough times. So 10.27 low of your pre-market. Below that, you do have 8.71. And then the lowest point since this drop is going to be $8. Again, we had a huge drop here, obviously, what a lot of stocks have had based on the markets and the coronavirus. So that's your low there at $8. Above that, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and previous day close. You do not need to add any more in here. You got plenty of levels right now. It's a really good pre-market activity. 6 minutes shares traded, bouncing back a bit down 13%. Here is Zoom. So Zoom, although I like Zoom, and again, it could be a good one this morning. I think with the ones we have looked at right now look a little bit better than Zoom. As far as Zoom, this is your all-time high here, so you don't really need to add any more levels aside from this one probably down here. Around 140, right? So you have a moving average on there, but at 138.68 is the base of several of these days that are bouncing off of that. Just mark that one on there, then the rest of the days highs and lows got you covered. But I'm going to move this down as a possible. I'll fine tune my list as we get closer to 9:30. But at the moment, I think this is one that can be moved down here because we do have some really good ones on here that are moving pretty well. AMD will be the one the one I'll watch instead opposed to MU, Nvidia, and these other tech companies, Apple and stuff like that. I'm gonna watch this one. I think this one has a very interesting daily. Also with a possible breakout. I mean, I like the way this is setting up. Higher lows the last couple of days in here, using this as their area of heavy resistance. If we can break out of that, we do have some movements that we can get to. 49.56 on the top side, and above that, we do have another perfect one here, 51.23. So again, 2 great levels towards the top. Highs and lows towards the bottom. Previous day closed right on there. We got a very tight range on today's day at the moment so far. So we'll see how that plays out. BA, guys, I think BA has probably one of the nicest pre-market activity aside from CCL. You can see how beautiful this thing has a nice downtrend here. Found the base right at 153 or so. Has been bouncing off of that, slightly above the previous day close, and we're up 1.8 this morning. So although we were up high, all the way up as high as 161 in the pre-market. We gave a lot of that back, but we're still up 1.8. So again, that's interesting to see here on BA. Towards the top, guys, you got your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, and this 161 is very important here, your high of your pre-market. And then towards the bottom, you have your previous day close and your low from yesterday at 140. So we'll see what BA does. Again, putting in a really nice pattern here in the pre-market. Let's keep an eye on that one. All right, guys, so that is what we have possibles. TLRY, CAG, Teva, Zoom, and IG. IG is the low flow of the day. But again, I hate this setup here. When stocks start doing this, and again, it's just a buy. It's not saying this is the case. They get that first initial pop, then they usually, most times, they don't come back from this. You get a beautiful fake out, and then boom, you get slammed. So just be careful with this type of stock. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to stay away from something like this. It's just not something as you want to be involved with. The float on this one, let me just check. I believe we said is 2.5. So it's a very low flow stock. Yeah, 2.5. So again, I'm not going to have it on my list, guys. We have a lot of beautiful things happening here towards the top. We need to focus on that one today. So just to recap, guys, AMRN is good. AMI is good. ABT is nice here. The American Airlines is beautiful. I like that one of my favorites. J&J, CCL, definitely top favorites. AMD is good, and BA as well. So I think American Airlines, CCL, and BA are definitely my top three this morning. Those will be on the top, and then I'll scrap off probably two more of this list to fine tune it when we get to our open. Um, Guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much for joining us, Norm. Anything that we might have missed, or anything you caught that you liked today before we
Now,
sign off?
Tesla's not doing much right now, but it's got pretty decent volume, so I'm gonna have my eye on that. It's right around four. It's right around 500. Tesla, Abbott, J&J,
Yeah,
Zoom, um, CCL. I might watch a Marin, but we'll see. If it starts to if it gets anything positive and maybe starts to push higher, it's got high short interest, so I'll keep my eye open for that. I'm not confident of that. It's down nearly 70%, but probably won't touch it since it's under five. Boeing and Save, I might keep an eye on as well.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's all I got. Hope everybody trades safe out there, guys.
Yeah, guys, take care, trade safe, and we'll see you tomorrow again, 8:30 Eastern time.